Pharrell once said that if you love football but you can't play, you could design the jerseys. You can be a water boy. You can be the assistant to the coach. If you really care about this craft, whatever it is, football, this sport, this whatever, you can involve yourself. You can apply whatever it is that you do well to that field. But you got to know that that's an option first. And black art is great. I love that museums have taken the initiative in the last several years to facilitate more black art being available for view. That's amazing. And even with all of these changes, even with all of these black artists that are getting opportunities now, which is great for them, it still doesn't help black people. In fact, it doesn't help anybody. And that's why the arts is not taken seriously outside of the art world. All the citizens of the art world take art very seriously, as we, myself included, should. But we're the only people who care about Monet enough to know Monet's name, or Van Gogh, or Justin Bieber, or Kara Walker, or Georgia O'Keeffe, or Frida Kahlo. My point is, people don't appreciate art the same way they appreciate music and sports, because music and sports does more for people than art does. Sports provide a healthy outlet. They provide entertainment. They provide an event to go to if you're going to a professional game. It's a business. People gamble with, sports has a whole universe of opportunities and vantage points and all of these different varieties of things that once combined create a National Football League, a National Basketball Association, a Major League Baseball. And all of these sports are industries. You're missing the point when I say black people don't do art. We don't. Some of us participate as makers. What I'm saying is that's great. But art, like music, like sports, can help people, especially black people. But you have to understand how it works and what it is and what its function is and what its utility is and how you're connected to it culturally. If art can help people, why doesn't it? If art can help people, of course I know the answer to it. If art can help people, why doesn't it? Art doesn't help people because it doesn't see the point in helping people. And if art did, there's an opportunity to democratize patronage. There are plenty of contractors and plumbers who have enough money to buy art. They just don't, because they don't respect art, because art doesn't talk to them. Art doesn't care enough to be nice to them when and if they go into an art gallery in the Lower East Side, to approach them, to make them feel welcomed. Most of the time, not all the time, but most of the time, people are made to feel intimidated when they come into art galleries. And then furthermore, if you don't look a certain kind of way, if you don't look the way a patron is anticipated to look, they're going to ignore you. This is the part where you tell me I'm wrong, right? Even though I am a professional artist, yeah, I'm telling you this based off experience. Now, no article I read. This is the reality. If art can help people, why doesn't it? And what would it take for art to actually help people? It would take arts literacy. It would take a society understanding the value of this practice and its application. You don't get fire hydrants and stop signs and peanut butter and roller coasters and mansion. You don't get any of this package design. You don't get any of this stuff without art. Without art. Without art. Without art. All of this comes from art. And it's so aggressively undervalued. And as a result, creatives are undervalued. And as a result, society misses a huge piece of the whole let's solve problems that affect all of society puzzle. Currently, all of the problems that affect society are left in the hands of linear thinkers. When in fact, it was linear thinkers that got us in this place in the first place. Of course, you need linear thinkers, but maybe we should mix linear and creative thinkers together. Maybe we should do that, because only leaving stuff up to linear thinkers got us here. Flint still don't got water, polar ice caps, Trump was a whole thing. There's a lot of stuff, police brutality, there's a lot of stuff going on and been going on because we've left stuff in the hands of linear thinkers exclusively, as if artists don't have any kind of value or anything to contribute. Lack of arts literacy leads to the undervaluing and the underutilizing of the arts and artists. And situations where because society doesn't understand the function of art, the full function of art, it will look like black people are benefiting from more access to black art, right? When in reality, you could have all the resources in the world. If you don't know how to use them, they're of no function. A lot of us don't know what is considered art, how to utilize art in everyday use, how to utilize art to make our lives more efficient, easier, more fun. Yes, art is visual, it's sculptures, it's film, it's TV, it's writing, it's all of these things. But it's also architecture. It's also strategy. It's also carpentry and metalworks and glassworks and plumbing and all the things that create structure for our society. They all come from art. If it came from a pencil, it came from art. You don't get a hammer without a pencil. The end. We're done. We're done. Point being, clothes. It's all art. I can't like you. It's all art. So it's like, man, if a society doesn't know how to utilize this primal craft as a way to solve problems, as a way to gel cultures, as a way to tell stories, as a way to archive culture, if all we look at art as is something to look at, or a token of luxury reserved for the wealthy, or something you go to a museum to see, or something you go to a gallery to see, or something you go to an art fair to see, like all of those are accurate definitions of what art is. But what can art be? In addition to something you look at a gallery, an exhibition, an art fair, all these different spaces that do a great job of exhibiting great, amazing art from a variety of different kind of artists, including black artists. And again, in the last several years, we've seen amazing leaps and bounds in museums and art fairs and galleries showcasing more and more black artists, and we should keep doing that. The question is, what else can we do that more directly helps people? Because once art helps people, people will help art. Until art helps people the way Twitter does, things will stay the exact same way. And more art being available to look at will appear to be progress, when true progress can only be measured in the betterment of a group. It's not about whether 7 black people get an exhibition at the moment. That's great. That's great. Keep it up. I want to be one of them people too. Let's be very clear. I did these, by the way. But we should celebrate those several black artists getting that exhibition at the MoMA and see how art can actually give back to people in exchange for patronage. Because once art helps people, people will help art. The reason rich people who can afford art don't buy it is because they're intimidated by it. And they don't understand it. And they think they have to understand something to buy a piece of artwork that they like. Make it work. Make it make sense. I don't know. But if art can help people, why doesn't it? Art is more than something you look at. Far more. Who's the chief art officer at Facebook? It's not even no one would even think of what would that even be? Because again, as a society, we don't even value art enough to even be like, how would that even apply? When the reality is, someone in that kind of role is someone who solves any and all kinds of problems in the most unorthodox way possible, rooted in visual art. For example, I'm just coming off the top of my head with it. What do I know? I'm just saying. But art can be a tool as much as it's something to look at. And if art can be a tool, then art can help people. And if art can help people, why doesn't it? Lack of arts literacy, a lack of arts patronage. For more patronage, patronage must be democratized. To democratize patronage, people have to be given a reason to buy art. If you help people, people will help you. The same way the NBA is entertaining enough to put on TV, people will sit down and watch it. And then the NBA can put advertisements in between the game, and then everybody makes money. There's a way to do this. But we have to give a shit. Like, as an art world, it can't just be like, look at this painting. Look at this stuff that this black person made. This is great. This helps you guys. This is progress. And it's like, it's not. It's flattering. It's great. Keep doing it. But what if I just told you flat out two-dimensionally, it's not enough? And if the response to that sentiment, if art can help people, why doesn't it? Once art helps people, people will help art. I'll talk to y'all in a bit. I just had to get that one off my chest, man. Oof.